Coming to you from the basement of an abandoned hospital.
The horror.
It's the little podcast of horrors with James, Kristina, and Chris. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing today?
Pretty good. How are y'all?
Fantastic.
Yeah, just enjoying my nice little bullet rye.
Sounds good. Drinking beer today.
So
but
this
like
is
my third one.
Third?
But it's my third one. Just
this is how fancy I am. I'm drinking bullet rye and then having it I'm chasing it with orange crush. Because I'm fancy.
You're so posh.
That's so posh, gosh. Yeah. Last night, my wife took me to dinner and I ordered a Manhattan and they brought it in a martini glass. And I'm just like, I'm just bougie tonight. I'm just like,
you are.
Cherries and everything. So
Fancy pants.
So welcome to episode 4 of the little podcast of horrors. We have come full circle and we're now back to moi. And I will be doing the next episode. So the first episode I did ghosts, ghost children. This episode, it's going to get really weird.
Sweet.
So, just buckle up because, yeah. So today's episode is going to be about a man named Robert Monroe and the Gateway Experience. So just to give you a little bit of background story about this guy.
I hope this isn't about gateway computers because, man, those sucked back in the day.
If only it was. If only it was. But then it would be a very boring episode. So yeah, just to give you a little backstory about this guy, he was born in Lexington, Kentucky in 1915. And when he was born, he was severely underweight. He was just weighing about 2 pounds. His early life kind of was a bit all over the place. He dropped out of college, and for a time, he was a hobo that rode trains.
Oh, classic.
Yeah, but then eventually, he returned to college and graduated with a study in pre-med, journalism, and engineering.
What?
All over the place. I told you.
How long was college back then?
I don't know.
I hope he kept hobo on his resume.
Yeah, I know. He's just like, oh, and you want to talk about resume? Just wait. Okay, so he also was married 3 times, but he only had one biological child. But he had several stepchildren, and he had a daughter that he adopted. So 2 of his wives had children.
Before or after being a hobo?
This is after.
One wife for each degree.
What?
One wife for each degree.
I don't know if I think he only had 1 degree, but he had studied all those. But
okay. Sorry.
So he also wrote for the aviation column. Excuse me. He also wrote for the aviation column in Ergosi magazine, and he was given a job with the National Aeronautic Association, where he produced a weekly radio show called Scramble. Its purpose was to spark interest in the youth for aviation. He also wrote scripts for radio stations, resulting in one of them actually being accepted at the NBC network.
Oh, cool.
So he had a huge successful career in radio, and all of this led to him retiring a millionaire in 1956.
Damn.
So remember, this is a guy who went from being a hobo, this is a guy who went from being a hobo hopping trains to retiring a millionaire by the age of 41. So
wow.
he's doing well with his life. He formed RAM Enterprises, which produced network radio programs, and he created a research and development division. I can't talk today. A development division to study the effects of various sound patterns on human consciousness, including the sleep state. Now, it was during this time that while he was experimenting with sleep learning, that he experienced what he described as a sensation of paralysis and vibration accompanied by a bright light that appeared to be shining on him from a shallow angle. Okay. Now, his experiments, he experiments around a lot and tests the tapes on himself. Later, he even creates a laboratory on his estate. So that must be nice. Can be rich enough
to have an estate.
He's like, I think on my estate, and then he has a laboratory. I just see like, I don't know, like glass vials and like tables and just, I don't know, Bunsen burners and.
While he drinks Bullet.
He's not that cool. He might be rich, but I don't know about that. In an isolated booth, he places a waterbed and a stereo system with headphones.
Oh.
So a waterbed.
Okay.
James, you're muted, by the way. Okay, just making sure you knew that. Because it looked a few times like you were talking, and I'm like...
I'm just trying to be polite.
No, I want you... Dude.
Since when are we polite on this?
No, we ain't polite. We're friends. We're like lifelong friends. Butt in, make every damn joke you want to. I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the first episode was the best just because of your banter. Like, I loved it. So there are 11 volunteers, mostly friends and family. One of them is his daughter, Lori Monroe. And they're all willing to try out the tapes during the night. Lori later says that these tapes have influenced her brain. She develops a flair of languages and maths.
Okay, wait. I'm sorry. Did I miss what is on the tapes? Like, is it him talking?
I'm going to get to that.
Okay. I thought I missed something.
I jumped ahead a little bit. So he went on to say, going back to his out-of-body experience, he said that he went on to say that this occurred at least 9 times over the next 6 weeks, which finally resulted in his first out-of-body experience. Using what is known as and I'm going to mess this up, a binaural beats mixed with verbal instructions and other sound effects, they claimed these techniques could be used to explore deep states of consciousness.
Oh.
Yeah. So the technique became known as hemisync.
Hemisync. Okay.
Yeah. There was even some independent clinical neurologists who conducted extensive testing of volunteers using this experimental technique. To their surprise, the results were clearly visible on every EEG they took.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
so
eventually
it's doing something with it. Okay.
Yeah, it's doing something. So yeah. Let's see, where was I?
Man, if some guy asked me to come into his mysteriously empty bedroom that has nothing but a waterbed and headphones in it, I'm going to be a little hesitant. Just saying.
You're going to have an experience in here. Oh, I bet I am. Maybe not the experience I want to have.
Sounds kind of romantic. I don't know.
Come on in. Let me hemisync you.
He just likes to set a mood, okay? It's important to set a mood.
Well, I mean, like I said, this started off, it was, mostly friends and family who volunteered to do it in the beginning, it was 11 volunteers. Now, remember that. Well, you don't need to remember that. Before they actually released the method to the public, which they did, they ended up testing it over 800 sessions with dozens of volunteers. And he even took a patent on the hemisync and created hundreds of hemisync recordings. So
cool.
Now we're about to get into the really weird part.
Yay.
By 1978, his work catches the eye of the U.S. government, and he is visited by the CIA, where he's invited to join a classified military project. They sought to use his mind-expanding practice to improve the mind control of soldiers during wartime. This would give a significant advantage over opponents. mainly the USSR, because they're in the Cold War that's still going on. So
right.
Since the participants in the experiment had to open portals to other dimensions during the sessions, the researchers have aptly named this work the gate process, or opening the gate. So
what? Like,
yeah, it's
well, hold on. So improve their mind control?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, hold on. There's a lot going on here.
And it's going to get even weirder. Let's see here.
When did MK Ultra shut down? This sounds so like MK Ultra.
Maybe. I don't know. The declassified files indicate that the program was a training system aimed at increasing the strength, concentration, and coherence of the amplitude and frequency of brain waves between the left and right hemispheres. Hence,
that clears it up.
Huh?
That clears it up.
Yeah, I know. To change consciousness, allowing it to go beyond the physical world and eventually transcend even time and space. Subsequently, the participant gained access to various levels of intuitive understanding of the universe.
Is this going to turn into weird sex stuff?
No.
This sounds like it's heading toward weird sex stuff.
If only. No. So Commander Wayne M. McDonnell, who was a part of the project, he detailed the discoveries he made. He was actually part of the experiment that he made about the nature of our world. Researchers have shown that people live in a holographic reality and that our life in the waking state is a projection of the electromagnetic matrix.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
I know.
Okay.
But wait, there's more. To explore unearthly regions, the participants sat in an isolated dark room. They put on headphones and listened to different sound tones at certain frequencies. Participants did not attempt to contact or connect with each other. After completing their astral journey, the volunteers told the staff about their experiences, and according to Robert Monroe, the subject often encountered creatures from other dimensions.
What?
The most common humanoids were reptiles.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because of their toothy crocodile faces, the participants dubbed these supernatural creatures alligators.
Okay, so one, I'm on board. And how can we do this?
Well,
have you done it yet?
And how do they know it wasn't crocodiles? Why specifically alligators?
That's a good question. And to answer Kristina, yes, I have tried this. It's on. I feel like I'm going to become the YouTube person. Yeah, on YouTube, you can find his entire or a large collection of his tapes that have been put on YouTube, the Gateway Experience, and you need to have headphones, and it works in the sense of like you can hear the hemi-sync experience. It's in one ear, then in the other ear, and then
that's a new band name.
And then it's pulsing. You hear a pulsating because that's your brain. I don't know.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yep, so my new band name is totally the hemi-sync experience.
So
I'll listen.
So here's some fun facts that they learned about these lizard people. These vile lizards have controlled and enslaved humanity for millennia.
What?
They exist and operate in the fourth dimension and are only visible to those people who can see beyond our extremely limited spectrum of visible light.
How have they enslaved us?
Well, the reptilians feed on our spiritual life force, which Monroe called Lush. I don't know why.
I like the term. Yeah. My spirit is lush.
So for a millennia.
Yeah. So I guess before that, what is it?
Before that, everything was perfectly normal. It's just the past 6,000 years. So basically, the 1900s, we were all enslaved by lizard people.
Apparently.
Which kind of explains a lot.
Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. We're talking like this is like 1978, 1980.
Now we know who to blame disco on.
Son of a bitch. They're all like over there in the fourth dimension. Give them polyester suits. Well, because negative and low vibrational energy is essential for their survival.
Oh, vibrations. We know about that.
They're like demons.
Yeah, I guess. These parasitic creatures see the earth as a huge farm where they collect human fear, hatred, anxiety, anger, and depression and feed on it.
Oh, they're getting fat off us.
Isn't this the kind of stuff Ashtar and his galactic commander are supposed to be protecting us from?
I told you in the last episode that this was felt so connected.
Well, somebody on the galactic command is clearly asleep at the controls.
Yeah, somebody's not doing their daily
at least
job.
for 1,000 years.
Ashtar is just up there brushing his hair and thinking of
golden
ways
locks.
to pick up the ladies, okay? He does not care about our negative vibrations feeding these fat crocodiles.
I'm just thinking about that one character from Futurama. What was his name? He's just like, I'll take care of the reptilians later. First off, I'm going to have a drink.
Yeah, that's Ashtar.
That's Ashtar. So, their intelligence equals or exceeds that of a human. And this elusive reptilian race sees itself as the true and supreme ruler of humanity.
So I do have a question about the lizard things.
Yeah.
So since they feed off of our depression, fear, blah, blah, blah. So are they making things happen in our dimension that might trigger those feelings? Or are they like trying to impact our whatever dimension we're on, 3D? 3D experience here?
That is a good question. And I'm not entirely sure. I did actually find an illustration of what they're supposed to look like.
Oh, let me see.
Yeah, hang on a second. Let me Can you see
So
it?
I like that they're supposed to be from another dimension, but they're just three-dimensional beings like everybody else.
Yeah. But you can only see them if you have, what was it? If you can see beyond our extremely limited spectrum of visible light. So that's the only way you can see them, James.
Oh, Lush, not Lush. Okay, sorry.
Oh, is that, did I mispronounce it? Lush?
Well, it was two O's.
That says Lush.
I don't know.
That says Lush. Yeah. Hold on. And then up here, it's Lush.
I'm going with Lush.
I like Lush better, yeah.
I do too. Yeah. It's like
Lush sounds too much like douche. So
Lush. So
okay, cool.
Anyway, so let's see here. I lost my place. So anyway, Robert Monroe, he spent the rest of his days doing research on out-of-body experience. And he had the time. He was filthy rich.
Right.
Because while he retired a millionaire, so many notes. Yeah. He eventually also retired. He did television and other stuff even after he had retired a millionaire from RKO and was even richer by the time he died. So.
Oh, okay.
So go figure. Lucky him.
Rich get richer.
So yeah, he eventually passed away in 1995, and it says that his beliefs never changed, and he frequently warned of the sinister spiritual vampires. Gateway's revolutionary experience continued throughout the 1980s. Hundreds of celestial trips had been successfully completed and logged by internal personnel. There are documents that pertain to the otherworldly ventures. but they were not unveiled until 2003. There was very little public attention following the report's initial release. Some whistleblowers claim the secretive federal project never ended. More than 40 years have passed since the program's inception, which with modern technological advances, it's likely the method has evolved in ways far beyond our comprehension.
So what happens during these experiences? Does the sleeper and the lizard people person just sit there and look at each other awkwardly? Like
doing like those emotes from Fortnite.
Well, I can tell you Robert Monroe gave a very extensive interview that you can find online.
With a lizard?
No, with us. And he talks about transcending through the universe. And it's not just the lizard people. He talked about communicating with higher beings. He was able to, he said that, and I'm paraphrasing or recalling information, that he was able to travel to different places in time, space, you name it. And he never wavered from this. He held, like I said, he held on to these beliefs till he died in 1995. But that's the end of, as far as my research goes, that's the end of everything that I just looked up. The lizard people was a recent revelation in my research. That is why I had to. That's why I had to postpone our recording, because I started falling into that. I'm like, wait, what? And then, of course, during our conversation before this, and you're like, I'm going to talk about reptile people. Huh? Hold up.
We could probably do another though. Like, I bet there's even more like crazy information out there.
It was like, what?
We do part 2.
Because see, when I first started this, and I was like, hey, I'm going to talk about Robert Monroe. I talked about it in our last session. I had been trying this HemiSync thing for months, actually. I had learned about him. It's on my phone. And I had only known to the point where he talked about out-of-body experiences and he going into the universe and talking to higher beings. And it was today when I discovered the parts about reptile people. And I'm like, whoa, back the fuck up.
Hold on.
What? I'm really glad that I may not do this anymore now, because I was like, I was trying it because I've always been interested in astral projection. I've always been interested in that concept.
Did you encounter any lizard people?
Well, this is what I was going to ask. What was your experience?
So really teasing us here.
Yeah.
Right. And I apologize. So it does. And he has that voice, and you can listen to it. He has this voice that is very calming. I guess it comes from being in the radio. He talks about different. He plays a very steady tone in one ear, and he even stresses this. He says you need headphones because we're going to do different things in different ears. First off, so the first tone starts in your right ear, and it's solid like this. It's just a solid tone. But then he plays a different tone, a solid tone in the other ear. But as you're listening to it, it sounds like a wave, even though it's not. Oh. He's like, these are the two sides of your hemisphere of your brain, and it creates that sound. And the next thing he talks about, it's a lot of visualization. He's like, imagine a box, and you put all of your anxiety, your negative emotions in there. You just put it all in this box. It's a lot of visualization. And then eventually the tone, I'm trying to recall, the tone, along with the tone is the sound of the ocean. And so he has long spaces where you're just supposed to listen to the sounds and relax. And I personally, when I hear the ocean, so I visualize that I'm on a beach. And I would actually think about, like, I would visualize sitting on the beach and looking across the ocean and thinking on the other side of that ocean is where I want to get to. Okay. So for the first several times I did it, it was just relaxing. Several times I fell asleep.
Okay.
But at one point, I did start to notice a vibration in my legs. Like I felt like my legs were like humming, and I
Ooh.
remember thinking like, wait, this is working? Like there was no jumping out of my body. I didn't have any out of body experiences, but I started to feel a type of vibration, which is what he talked about. So I have not continued it since then, just because life took over and I got distracted and I just haven't gotten bound around to it. But now I'm like, because like that would have just been my luck. Like I hadn't gone far enough in the research and then it worked. And I'm like, I'm in the universe. And then it's suddenly lizard people. Hey. Hello, we're the lizard people. Wait, what the fuck? Huh? We control you.
Well,
This wasn't in the damn manual.
Everybody that came into contact with them, they seemed to come back alive to tell their story, right? Like nobody was actually harmed.
I guess you can't be depressed if you're dead.
Well, think about it. Yeah. Actually, it would probably work to their benefit because they're just kind of like what did it say? They feed off of fear, anxiety, depression. So it's like you come back and find out you're being controlled by lizard people, you're going to be all the above. So yeah, they're going to be totally like, yeah, we got you, man.
I still don't understand how they're actually controlling us. Like it's one thing to feed off people's fear energy or whatever, but to actually control it. That's what I want to know. How are you actually controlling us though?
I don't think it's so much about controlling us. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you look at today's climate, if that's true, they're having a banquet.
Yeah, well, and that's what I want to know. Like, can they make things happen here that like trigger these things, or are they really just back there like feeding off us like a bunch of leeches and that's it?
I mean, maybe they can like, if they're like, if we can't see them, maybe they like whisper in our ears or something, like that kind of thing, like just slightly nudge and that stereo, like I didn't do it. I only whispered. You made the decision. I mean,
is that what the demon on your shoulder sounds like?
I guess.
Does he wear a monocle?
You're tasty. I love your sadness. Or maybe he's like Cartman. The unfathomable tears of sadness.
That's a no for me.
I wouldn't even be remotely scared if they open their mouth and they start talking like Eric Cartman. They'd be like, oh my God, it's a human.
I'd be like, you're going to annoy me to death.
That's what you're
Cartman like, voice.
If annoyance is tasty, then you should be gobbling it up because you're just stupid and annoying.
So if I'm not depressed, I'm just having a happy-go-lucky time. Am I still being controlled by the lizard people? Or, by the way, alligator people, because pick a lane, alligators are not lizards.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like
this is some lazy describing going on here.
Listen, James, we're not animal scientists, okay?
They're
this guy was apparently an everything scientist, so
we finally find out the truth, and they're like, actually, you sons of bitches, we're frog people, get it right. Like, how are we supposed to know? We can't see you unless we have that gift of looking past the spectrum of light. You guys can't even be seen by regular people? How lame. You're stupid.
Did they talk any more about the other beings that they came into contact with?
So Robert Monroe, from what I'm trying to recall, he talked about one point a being that was bathed in light. The lizard, alligator, reptile people, they were only one set of beings. The whole premise, though, was about transversing to different dimensions and different planes of existence. So I don't know. That's going to actually call, you know what? Maybe as a side project, I'm going to dive into this more. I'm going to dive into this a little bit more. It's been a good day here at the Trip household because we've had pizza and bourbon and Pepsis, and I've had a good weekend. I'm going to dive into this a little bit more to find out more about this. Because like I said, the reptile, alligator, lizard people, was just today a revelation.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be completely transparent. I thought I was going to be talking about out-of-body experiences and traveling the universe and meeting higher beings, and I fell into the damn lizard people.
It always ends with lizard people.
And we're apparently in a matrix. And this is 1978, so this is before Keanu Reeves' movie. So it's like...
This guy is a contemporary, though, with our boy experiencing Ashtar.
Yes, that's why. Because you were talking in our last episode all about Ashtar, and I just remember thinking, like, this is a lot like Robert Monroe, right?
Yeah, except Robert Monroe's being kind of lazy here, because you can't, Ashtar would tell you, you can't just go vibrating willy-nilly. You got to vibrate at the right frequency.
Well, that's
or you wind up dealing with the wrong stuff.
Well, no, because he talks about it. He's like, it doesn't work until you get to a particular frequency. So he's in agreement with Ashtar. So the whole time you're talking about Ashtar last time, I'm like becoming slightly alarmed in the sense of, is this real? Wait, I mean, we discuss a lot of different things on this show. That doesn't necessarily mean we believe in it. That doesn't necessarily mean we don't believe into it.
I don't know. I'm just saying Monroe kind of sounds like a heretic to me. Hell, Ashtar.
I think you guys should do an episode where you work together on this lizard people, like other dimensions, higher beings thing.
Super bro buds. We're going to get down into this.
Group project.
A collab.
Yeah, collab.
Why do you say it like that?
Say it however I want.
With you. I have to collaborate with this fucker. Like, dude.
Sorry. The lizard people got to me.
They did.
Yeah, your vibe is real low right now, James. Kind of bumming me out.
Quit feeding them. You need to be like, yeah, best friends.
Help it when I'm controlled by extra dimensional entities.
I mean, yeah, I guess nothing is our fault.
Yeah.
I wonder if
nothing is our fault. Responsibility is meaningless. Anarchy rules.
You know what?
There we go.
Feel like at this point, an expression of love amongst us would be like, you know what? The lizard people are starving right now.
Oh,
because I'm with you guys.
That is so sweet.
Yeah.
And then we get off here and we're like, damn it, quiet around here. Like scream at everybody. Your dogs are too loud.
You can't quit screaming and playing back there. So, yeah.
Immediate feast.
Oh my gosh. Anyway. So that concludes episode 4 of the Little Podcast of Horrors. We want to thank everybody for joining us. Please like, subscribe, whatever you feel like doing to our show. If you have any questions, please email us at littlepodcasthorrors@gmail.com. And of course, if you ever feel like you want to share any of your experiences with us, please, by all means, do so.
Hail Ashtar.
Please join us for our special Halloween episode, which normally all our episodes come out on Tuesday, but we will have a special Halloween episode coming out on Monday, October the 31st, where each of us will share a personal or just our own little short story of whatever we choose to. So yeah, what do you think, guys?
We can tell a story and then vote on whether we think it actually happened or if we totally made it up.
I say Kristina and I have had some pretty interesting paranormal experiences. James hasn't because his life.
I have nothing.
He has nothing.
Yeah, y'all can just double down on it, and I can comment and observe.
So James can throw his witty banter into me and Kristina's stories. Anyway, so guys, thank y'all for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Hail Ashtar.
Bye.